making their voices heard.
We as a queer community come together and voice against the legislation.
A rally to stop what they call the Don't Say Gay bill. The interim president of FIU,
to speak with you and to listen to you,
facing questions from the community. And were there any red flags?
So red flags? No, there's no red flags for me.
Hearing from the Dolphins coach who replaced Brian Flores. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Good morning, South Florida. My name is Julian Davis.
I'm Jenna Restrepo. Today's February 11th, 2022.
From the South Florida Media Network's Biscayne-based studios in North Miami, this is SFMN Newsbreak.
Rally for Change, the LGBTQ community and their supporters coming together to try and stop a piece of legislation. If passed into law, the bill would forbid the teachers of young students from discussing sexual orientation and gender identity.
The network's Javier Romero was at last night's rally and has more.
Its official title is the Parents' Rights in Education Bill, but those who oppose the bill's passing have dubbed it the Don't Say Gay Bill. Many of them are rallying here at the University of Miami campus in Coral Gables to make their voices heard.
We say nay to Don't Say Gay!
When we as a queer community come together and voice against the legislation, it's a huge impact.
A crowd gathering on the part of campus they called the Rock last night to make a hard line against a bill to prevent the discussion of sexual orientation and gender identity in early grades.
We know from countless studies that LGBT youth are at a higher risk for suicide and don't have supportive home environments or supportive houses of worship.
President Biden posting to Twitter saying in part, "I want every member of the LGBTQ+I community, especially the kids who will be impacted by this hateful bill, to know that you are loved and accepted just as you are."
Kids are encouraged to be, doing stuff with like a gender ideology, and I think the parents really do need to be involved in that.
It came a step closer to becoming a law this week, passing the state Senate's Education Committee. That hearing featuring speakers on both sides of the controversy.
Seems like you guys care that it's born and it has a heartbeat, but God forbid it should turn out to be a lesbian.
I found out that the school formed a transgender support plan with my daughter behind closed doors with 3 school officials without notifying me.
We're your students, your teachers, your brothers, and your sisters. Conversations about us aren't something dangerous that should be banned.
If passed, there would be no classroom discussion of sexual orientation from pre-K through to 3rd grade, and give parents the right to sue.
It also weaponizes parents to sue the teachers or the school system and get damages.
Not only do the people that are personally targeted by this bill need to do that work, but we need to place more responsibility on the people that call themselves allies.
Florida lawmakers will have to work out a difference between the House and Senate version of the bill before it can be sent to the governor for final approval. In Coral Gables, Javier Romero, South Florida Media Network.
FIU hosting a panel highlighting the importance of speaking out against assault, misconduct, and discrimination. As the network's Delali Solacho reports, it's in the wake of President Mark Rosenberg's resignation.
Yes, that's right. FIU hosted their community dialogue, which offers an opportunity for those to learn about resources that are available on campus.
we are grateful to have the opportunity to speak with you and to listen to you.
Yesterday, FIU's platform in MMC campus hosted a dialogue in identifying solutions the school offers when it comes to reporting misconduct, allegations, sexual assault, or other concerns. The event included presentation from the Office of Civil Rights Compliance and Accessibility, which served to ensure the school remains an inclusive and safe place for staff and students.
Yeah, well, we wanted to make sure that we were responding to the university and just the feelings of sadness and a lot of mixed confusion, and also just articulate our commitment to our process and our regulations that prohibit discrimination, harassment, and sexual misconduct.
The speakers hoping the presentation will push for change and make a difference.
Well, hopefully more informed, more knowledgeable about our process, and knowledge about our commitment and all the individuals that are committed to making FIU a safer campus and a campus that doesn't tolerate sexual harassment or sexual misconduct.
And students on campus also speaking out from previous occurrences.
We've heard a lot, especially with the Rosenberg situation. I don't know how far that has gone, but it's pretty bad that it even happens. So I think it's great that, we can come forward if something like that does happen.
Now feeling content that resources are available for students and staff.
I feel like it'll give them like a voice because they might not know who to reach out to, and now that that's there, they can go out and talk to someone if they want to and they're ready to.
For more information or on how to report a concern, you can visit report.fiu.edu. For the South Florida Media Network, Zitlali Solache.
A Florida school bus driver charged for driving drunk with dozens of students on board. Mark McNeil, who drives his buses near Jacksonville, was arrested on Wednesday after he had picked up about 40 students from middle school. Police say he was intoxicated 4 times the legal limit. After he was taken to the hospital, officers say he tried to run away. McNeil was later charged with DOI and child neglect on the same day and was released on bond.
Homeland Security sends a warning. Like in Canada, there may be a convoy against vaccines here in the U.S. Protests along the U.S.-Canada border are interrupting the flow of resources and money between the nations. In the Canadian capital, Ottawa, the city center remains under siege. And while disruption in other places has caused local police to send reinforcements, these protests may impact the Super Bowl and President Biden's State of the Union address.
Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat going for their 4th win in a row as they visited New Orleans.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
I quickly realized that this was my dream job, and I had to go get it.
And the Dolphins trying to move on from the controversy surrounding one coach's departure as they introduce another coach to South Florida. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a 4th ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. And she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you and we'll figure it out."
How prepared is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking, let's go. You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
Welcome to Miami. The Dolphins' new coach meeting the media for his first news conference. Coach Mike McDaniel, whose father is black, was asked about the controversy surrounding former coach Brian Flores' departure, answering that he sees no red flags.
And as the network's Jessica Acosta reports, there was also a lot of football talk.
Miami Dolphins' new head coach Mike McDaniels welcomed himself into the new office and new job this morning. Yesterday, he answered a few questions for the South Florida sports media. Mike McDaniels, 38, who was the former offensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers for 5 years, is now replacing the former coach of the Dolphins, Brian Flores.
It's an honor and a privilege to stand in front of you guys here as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins.
Throughout his time for the 49ers, he was able to take the team all the way to the Super Bowl in 2020 against the Kansas City Chiefs. He plans to use all the knowledge made throughout his time with the NFL to improve the Dolphins team.
Successful play callers don't isolate themselves. They utilize the people around them. That's what a head coach should do.
McDaniel seems as if he's getting along already well with the Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa when the two were recently FaceTiming each other and caught a special moment on camera.
I just had to get on with you real quick. We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man.
Although the Dolphins were the first in the NFL history to have a 7-game winning streak and a 7-game losing streak in the same season, McDaniels is going to make sure to lead the team into victory.
You're going to see a unique design of everything that's tailored to our players.
The process of the rebuilding of the Dolphins begins next month when they start talking to free agents. Then comes the NFL draft. From the Hard Rock Stadium, Jessica Cosa for the South Florida Media Network.
The Miami Heat beat the New Orleans Pelicans Thursday night and held on to first place in the NBA's Eastern Division. The team scored 112 points and allowed only 97 from the hot-shooting Pelicans. The game was played in the Big Easy. Both Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo scored 29 points and Kyle Lowry hit a triple-double. Tyler Hero missed another game. Next, the team takes on the Brooklyn Nets, which completed a blockbuster trade on Thursday, sending James Harden to the Philadelphia 76ers for Ben Simmons. The game will be played on Saturday night in Miami. That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. My name is Julian Davis.
I'm Jelena Estrepo. Get more news anytime at sfmn.fiu.edu.